do you think Van Nistelrooy felt privileged that there was a capital Glovers flag?
Firstly,
my God, they're here.
now... Hello everyone, welcome to Reminding You I Love Football. I'm today's host, Seb White, editor at large, or should it be editor at XX large, in this beautiful Mundial and Daily Paper shirt, which is, there's only a few left, I think, James, isn't there? There's only a few left, but what a shirt. What a privilege to be working with some really good people at Daily Paper. I know you've been across it more than me. It's been a lot of fun, hasn't it?
The whole collaboration, I mean, Daily Paper are a very, very cool Dutch brand for anyone who doesn't know. The owners are of Moroccan, Somali and Ghanaian heritage, and all of their clothes sort of tell stories about that heritage. They've been amazing to work with. The stuff at Hotel MUNDIAL, for those who were there, was brilliant. Tournament in the morning, panel in the afternoon, and then we had a party in Paris last Friday.
Well,
thanks to anyone that came to that. It was a very, very reassuring event for Mundial.
10 years on, still doing it, which is obviously a good thing. But James, you mentioned Hotel Mundial there. It would be remiss of me not to just quickly say thank you to each and every one who came to Hotel Mundial, which finished last week. It was a lot of fun. Tommy, what was your favourite memory from Hotel Mundial? You were there 7 of the 7 days.
I was, yeah.
So even ever present.
Even on my day off, I couldn't get enough.
Even more than Chaz, who was there for a listener who was there for 5 of the 7 days, which was incredible. Well done, Chaz.
Big up Chaz for being there as much as probably anyone alongside all of us. But what's the opposite to a big up? A small down.
No. Who to, Tommy?
To his mate who told me how to produce this podcast in the fucking pub after the final night. Even though he said it's his favourite podcast, he still had some notes for me. I know you will be listening, mate. No, but in all seriousness, it was a great week. And also, it would be remiss to not mention who won Player of the Tournament at the Daily Paper.
Hey, we're coming on to that later on.
Okay,
Don't worry.
Okay.
God, I'm not going to let you not have your moment. Fair play though. But James, what was your favourite moment, or was it just a general week of absolute delight? Because it was for me.
I actually think that my favourite moment was obviously the opening evening. The Friday was very, very busy, raucous, dancing, lots of people in a very merry way. But then the Saturday was very, very chilled, very relaxed, and people were just using the space like it was a real space, a permanent home for people who enjoy football. Playing on the Xboxes, running their own table football tournaments and darts tournaments, just eating, waiting for their friends. It felt like the kind of place you might go on a Saturday afternoon.
And you know what was a really good thing about it, which is, I suppose, I'm guessing one of the targets for you guys setting it up was the fact that you had contingents of different fans from different countries.
Oh yeah, it was good.
Coming and gathering and using it as a, there was no hassle or drama or anything throughout the whole week really. And there was a bunch of Albanian fans that, Assad wrote the piece about in the magazine. And then there was also, the day my sister came to visit, there was about 4 Romanian fans, and it was when Romania won 3-0.
Oh.
And it was that was one of the early kickoffs. So it was like
2 p.m.
Yeah. I think it was half time or maybe So it was like 3-4 p.m. or something like that. And they were just outside having a cig, having a few drinks, singing Romania songs, 3 or 4 of them, in a really lovely way, and got chatting to them, things like that. And also playing you on FIFA for about 2 hours was very fun, James.
Are you saying that because you beat him?
No, in the end, I think you came out on top. We had 3 games. I won the first one. You won the second 2, I believe.
I also beat Owen Blackhurst on penalties.
Oh, I beat Owen as well.
Oh, he's saying that because Owen is not here, and you're probably wondering where the bloody hell is Owen. Owen is having some more well-deserved time off in the delightful Indonesia, and I'm not jealous at all looking at his Instagram story. But anyway, let's move on to the podcast. Reminding you I love football. If you're new, thanks for joining us. I will just give you a taster of what people think of this podcast. Let's start with the positive first, shall we?
You know that I don't usually really observe the script. Or the points before we come into this room, but I did have a look at this and laugh.
So we did have some reviews after my last shout out, so thank you very much. This is mandatory listening for me every Thursday night on the way to football, which is lovely. Simply fantastic is another one as well. But
both 5 stars as well.
Both 5 stars. But we have had a 3-starer, and that's fine, by the way, because 3's okay. Steady.
It's better.
But
than,
I just want to, yeah.
better than 0.
6 out of 10.
Yeah, 6 out of 10. Yeah.
3 out of 5. Otherwise, famously known as 6 out of 10.
Anyway, it's true. I'll just read, and I'm not reading this. I'm reading this just to discuss a couple of things that were brought up. I used to absolutely love this podcast. Lovely. He loved it. That's good. Owen is a top presenter. Absolutely agree. Cannot disagree with that in any way, shape or form.
A pro.
But there's a but coming. But it slipped a lot recently, and sometimes now find it quite a difficult listen. Some of the chat is hilarious, but other bits are a bit tedious and could do with an edit. That's his fault.
It's probably that bloke who's telling you how to produce it, Tommy.
It is actually, yeah. It's exactly what he said at the pub.
Again, we all have opinions. Don't we? And that's absolutely fine. I will take issue on one particular point, though. The Ventures in Clubland is a brilliant feature, and I love it. Please stop dropping it. Now, unless I'm mistaken, we have never.
I have sat through this podcast listening to us chat shit.
Certainly not recently.
For about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. Yeah. I know everything we've said somewhere in my memory, and we have not once dropped Adventures in Clubland.
No.
So you, sir, keep listening, please. You, sir, are a liar.
We love the reviews. 3-star, 4-star, 5-star. Just, it's great to hear from you, and it's great to know that it does mean something to various people. We had loads of people coming up to us at Hotel MUNDIAL, which was bonkers, but also brilliant. So thanks very much for your support. Please tell your mates. We do need more people to listen to it. We want more people to listen to it because we do know it's a very good podcast. So this is reminding you I love football. It is an award-winning podcast.
Yeah.
Which has not dropped Adventures in Clubland. It's 4.9 on Apple, 5-star on Spotify, and we are part of the Acast Creator Network. Let's bloody get going, shall
And you can bring your dinner.
So, we will now have a section called Seb's Faults, which is a play on words to Seb's Vaults. And my character. Oh, aren't we good? Anyway, we will talk about what's happened in history on the week that this podcast is released. Now, we talk about birthdays. We're going to start with birthdays, I think, because I do think there are some good birthdays, football or non-football. And let's have a look at the list. Raúl, Amoruso, Barthez. I mean, it's been mentioned before that there's a passing resemblance.
A smoking bald goalkeeper, much like myself.
Yeah, it is true.
And when I did win that award, by the way, we've not even revealed that, have we?
Just say it. When I won the award.
When I won the Player of the Tournament award, James did, on stage, take my hat off and kiss me on the head, like Laurent Blanc did to Barthez.
Wonderful.
Kissed you on your bald head in front of 200 people.
Yeah. Before that point, it was a really cool
Best
event.
Moment
it
was a really cool event until James.
Best moment of my life.
Yeah.
Top 7 easily.
I know we take the mickey, but well done. Tommy won the best player of the tournament at the Daily Paper and Mundial tournament on the Sunday morning the other week. And it was by all accounts because you had some incredible performances in goal.
Yeah, and also just
because
it's also just because I kept saying yes to playing for various teams.
Tommy played, I think, for 3 different teams across the tournament. And
gun for hire.
Yeah.
Gun for hire. And, at the end of the tournament, when me and Shamik were like, right, who should we give player of the tournament? Yeah. There's one guy, Nick Scott of Football Co. alumni.
Oh yeah,
who's a sensational, a sumptuous footballer.
Is he?
Oh gosh.
He's incredible.
He steps on any pitch in the world at grassroots level. He's the best player on the pitch.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
No, it's amazing. But I spoke to a couple of the leaders from the other teams and everyone. It was a unanimous decision that Tommy Stewart would be given player of the tournament.
Oh, well done, Tommy.
And there is a save.
That's a buzz, that, isn't it? That's a buzz to be.
Yeah.
People always say this about any award in any industry.
He's going to say recognised by your peers.
Exactly that. Exactly that. To be recognised by one's peers.
It is.
I know you. Yeah.
No, it is.
Well done, Tommy. I can see how he's still happy about it. I like it. I love it.
I've not stopped.
You're reminding me why I love football.
I've not stopped showing people, which was caught on camera, which was definitely my favourite save of the day, which is the one that's going, I think I said to you after it was my Gordon Banks against Pele moment. The one in the bottom left, which was luckily caught on camera by the incredible photographer that day. What's his name?
There's two. There's Rayanne and there's Simon. They're both very, very clever.
Both brilliant. It was, I think Simon caught it on video, and it's bottom left-hander. And that will, if in 50 years you can put like a video on your gravestone,
imagine.
It could be 5 years, let's face it.
Oh, God, that's the time is coming, surely.
That's what I want.
Like an Insta reel, just on your gravestone.
It'll be
916,
a QR.
obviously. 916.
It'll be a QR code.
Yeah. It'll be a QR. Oh,
and Dave Blackhurst will have to sub it.
Yeah. Dave Blackhurst subtitles, available in different languages. Tommy, that is wonderful. Videos on your... I mean, it's going to be like big screen, big advert boards, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And that's all I want on a loop.
Oh, just that on a loop.
Like 4-second video, yeah.
What video of me would I have on my gravestone?
Oh, God, there's some good ones of you from Hotel MUNDIAL. You were cock of the walk there. You were the man in charge.
Yeah, I did enjoy it, but...
You were
when you say
Sebby the celebrity.
I was giddy, and there was Stella on tap.
Yeah,
or not on tap in cans, so I was,
You never seemed too pissed or anything.
No,
You're always on a good level.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I was
full of banter.
I was a bit worried, but what would be the video on my tombstone? There's a great clip of me at obviously Stevenage away. But
where else?
Yeah, Stevenage away, where Yeovil score, and I've got this massive Trango coat on, and I'm the only person that runs the length for the terrace to go and celebrate with the players, and I'm just there like shaking my fists at them, and it's just
like Mourinho.
Yeah, just on my own with the players.
Trafford,
and these players are going, "Who the fuck is that?"
Like a baboon out of the zoo.
Exactly. James, come on, what video? What a great thing. Go on.
Yeah, the video I might have on my gravestone is connected to another Euros tournament. And after my 30th birthday,
as previously discussed,
my friends and partner bought me a football cake from Marks and Spencer's.
Yes.
That when it was brought out at, I think, half time of England versus Ukraine, one of my friends, I think it was Dan, went, "Head the ball, James," and Mathilde was holding it, I think, and I just went poof, and put my head through it, and there was a video of Mathilde's reaction. Mathilde, Italian, already thinks that we're despicable. And
she's had to organise a birthday party.
She's sort of clapping, and then she sees me do that, and she just looks around, stops clapping. Sort of the corners of her mouth go from upturn to downturn very quickly, and then she realises where she is and carries on clapping because it's my birthday. And I think that sums up our relationship perfectly.
That's brilliant. So we'll put those 3 videos as a reel up.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I want everyone who's listening to this podcast to put, what video would you put?
This is very Alan Partridge mid-morning matter.
Oh, it is.
And I love it.
I love that. Yeah. No, that's good. It's
good shit.
So that all started from Fabien Barthez's birthday, which is very exciting. And we've obviously got Phil Bardsley, we've got Kevin De Bruyne.
It's not that exciting that it's Fabien Barthez's birthday
this
week.
Alex Morgan, Patrick Kluivert. There's some good birthdays this week.
Sort of relevant. It's not that exciting.
I'm going to move. We don't always talk about football. We're going to talk about non-football here, and we're going to talk about a great person's birthday this week. The podcast is released, and that is Richard Lewis, who sadly died recently, but he was born in 1947. And Tommy, we just had a very brief chat beforehand, didn't we, while we were having a coffee? And I would go as far to say is one of the funniest people that's ever lived.
I think if Larry David considers you the funniest person of all time, then you might well be the funniest person of all time.
You're up there.
Also, I was listening to I listened to a lot of his Howard Stern shows back anyway, and what he also did, which is relevant to me, I suppose, he helped people, very actively helped people and other comedians get sober, and he was like a big advocate of that.
Other comedians, sorry. I'm not going to let that slip. Sorry, Owen would. Owen would have been in even quicker than me there. But yes, other comedians.
I didn't mean.
No, I know what you mean. Sorry,
but yeah,
you're making a very good point.
But also another thing, He was.
It takes me right back to a couple of episodes ago where Tommy had clearly read something about, I can't remember who it was, a Portuguese striker. Of course, won the Ballon d'Or in
my brother,
2003.
My brother has not stopped fucking using that against me. Even when he showed up to Hotel Mundial and I was giving him fucking free drinks all day, he just kept going, and of course.
Yeah.
But no, Richard Lewis as well. Another thing I was going to say, he was doing the whole fucking men's mental health thing, which is one of my favourite quotes from this podcast when James said, I've not got male's mental health. Yeah. But he was doing male's mental health stuff in like the fucking 70s, in the 60s. He's talking about therapy, he's talking about
definitely
his neuroses, just an innovator in every way.
Before woke, of course.
Of course.
What's your favourite Lewis moment?
Lewis moment in Curb?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Again, it's recency bias, and it's so hard sometimes to get past that. But he was clearly a lot older in the last series. Yeah. He was clearly maybe not very well, but he still dominates every scene.
Yeah.
He was frail, wasn't he? In the but some of the
when he's at AA.
When he's at AA and he's basically using that as to do his set. I mean, someone as a comedian yourself, you'll appreciate how hard it is to. You'll appreciate how hard it is to get them to test your material. So, yeah. But
I love it when him and it's clearly. I know Curb's not scripted, but it's clearly one of those scenes where Larry and Rich Lewis are just trying to make each other laugh.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, the laughter actually does spill over, and they just keep it in the final edit.
Yeah.
When they're talking about Osama bin Laden, and one of them, I think Lewis accidentally says Ben Laden, and Larry just picks him up on it. He's like, Who the fuck is Ben Laden? He's like, he sounds like a Jewish shirt maker in Manhattan. Oh, that Ben Laden, he's got great colours.
What we're saying is, it's Richard Lewis's birthday. Unfortunately, recently passed. But
rest in peace, man.
Please. Well, I said to Tommy straight after this conversation we have it just before the episode. I was like, "Well, I'm going to start Curb again," and I've probably done Curb 4 times, but I'm going to start again. I listened to. I'm about halfway through his audiobook called it's called The Other Great Depression: How I'm Overcoming on a Daily Basis at least 1 million addictions and dysfunctions and finding a spiritual (sometimes life). And he reads the audiobook as well. And the only problem is his voice is so soothing.
Yeah,
it makes me fall asleep when I listen to it. But I would highly recommend it, and I would give it a listen. But
a great man.
A great man.
Just very quickly before we move on from that, talking about people reading out their audiobooks. Yeah. I recently had to. I recently went on a stag do to Gdansk with a very good friend of mine from Wolverhampton who moved to Oslo 10 years ago and worked his way through the hard labyrinths of kitchens and actually won a Michelin star a couple of years ago, which is, I think he's the first person from Wolverhampton to ever win a Michelin star.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
Anyway, went out with 10 mad chefs into the Polish night.
Different breed.
And I was actually the first person to go to bed at about 2 a.m. Anyway, they all stumbled back at about 3 and stayed up until the early hours, till the even later early hours. And I couldn't get to sleep. So I quickly went through and I was going through my Spotify, like, what can I listen to? Well, I need something sort of like mind-numbing to listen to. Yeah. And I remembered that one of my friends had recently started listening to Neil Warnock's autobiography, read out by Neil Warnock.
Oh my God.
It's magnificent.
I bet.
And atrocious at the same time.
Yeah.
Every chapter starts with a sort of a quote from like a revolutionary figure.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it would be like through all the twists and turns of life, the ones who strive will find a way. Gandhi.
Yeah.
And then it'll
just be moving on to Millwall away.
And then it will just be, so I had Chris Morgan at the back at the time and Keith Curl. And my God, did they not listen to me in the changing room? But when we were 1-0 down and I brought on
that sounds
Chris
great.
Samba, anyone who at any point can't get to sleep, just listen to that. I mean, it didn't actually help.
No, I was going to say, it sounds like too funny and brilliantly bad that you would keep you awake.
And the best thing about it is that I was trying to show them the next morning. I was like, this is what I listened to. And I wanted to give them an example of like how bad and funny it was. And you can drag your finger to any point of the 9 hours of the audio book and stop it. And it'll just be him talking about something completely banal.
That's pretty good. Maybe that could be a feature of the podcast. Wonderful stuff. Right, let's move on. Let's move on to a feature that we haven't dropped.
Never.
And we will not drop because it's our favourite one. Adventures in Clubland. This week on Adventures in Clubland, I am going to talk about the International Federation of Football History and Statistics best goal scorer of the decade.
Oh!
Freddie Eastwood.
Of the noughties. This is, now, firstly, the International Federation of Football History and Statistics sounds exactly like my cup of tea. So I will be filling out an application form after this. But anyway, this player won that coveted award in the noughties. In the noughties. Again, and so just think of the noughties. Think of all the strikers that have played in that decade. Mm-hmm. Oh, my days. This player won the best goal.
Your Henrys, your Drogbas.
Oh, just...
Wayne Rooney.
Oh,
Ronaldo's.
Cristiano. Both Ronaldos, yeah.
Exactly.
Stop your finger at any point, you'll find one.
Exactly. This is it. This is it. But I'm going to talk about Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Ruud! Completely unscripted, and it's just what they do.
Yeah!
That is just what we do.
And I'm going to talk about him at Real Madrid.
Ooh.
Oh.
Now, you're thinking, okay, is this an adventure in Clubland? Now, listen. Age 30, back in 2006, he's not playing regularly for Man United, which, there had been, let's just say, a falling out, as Alex Ferguson did with various players over his time. There had been a falling out, but so he wasn't playing for Man United. He was 30. Now, you think, normally, or pretty much 99% of the time, there's only one way, and that's down. And when I say down, still a decent, you're coming down from Man United. So, but Ruud van Nistelrooy, for 14 million euros, I think it's about 12 million pounds.
Yeah, 11.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. Signs for Real Madrid.
What's a bargain, by the way? I know he's 30.
I know.
And it's in the mid to late mid-2000s, but still.
I can't get my head around it. So
it's fuck all.
Weren't his knees destroyed?
Well,
in theory.
Well, okay, James.
Well, we'll see.
No is the answer. Or if they were, he played through the pain. And did he not just play through the pain?
You wouldn't bloody know about it if they were.
Now, in 4 years, he played 96 games. James, how many goals do you think he scored? Even with slightly dodgy knees, being 30, 31, 32, 33.
I mean, he'll have been surrounded by fantastic players. But
again, not necessarily.
30 goals.
Way off. 64 goals he scored.
He's fucking mad.
Which is just ridiculous. 64 goals in his early 30s for Real Madrid. Now, you mentioned there, right, that he would have been playing with some great players. Now, of course, he played with some decent players. I'm not saying he didn't. However, the players that are involved with Real Madrid at the time, Ronaldo is at the end.
Yeah.
The original and OG Ronaldo.
He gets 6 months with him, doesn't he?
He gets 6 months with him.
Says he's the best player he's ever played with still.
Yeah, exactly. So
even at the end of his career.
So that gives you another idea of the players that he's got with him. He's got Reyes, Raúl, who's older. He's got Cassano, doesn't quite work at Real Madrid. Higuain, a young Juan Mata. He's got Baptista. So good players. But certainly not Galactico-esque, I would say. Ronaldo and Raúl would have been, but this is the end of their eras at Real Madrid. So
they're still, and what you have to remember at the time, like the likes of Robinho, Higuain, and Negredo they had as well. They were. We didn't know what they would become. They were still. No. So when he actually joined, he's competing with about fucking, 6-7 people for that position.
And this is, of course, also as Barcelona are coming out of what The great season ticket holder Marco told us for the Ronaldinho episode of Giant, as they are coming out of the times of traversing the desert.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly that. And who's manager at this stage?
Ooh, Capello.
Capello it is. So, and again, not going to disparage someone who's won European Cups and done had incredible moments in his career. But again, a slightly different type of manager, certainly like what you just said about Barcelona. But Ruud van Nistelrooy, age 30, scores 25 goals in La Liga.
Blimey.
To win Real Madrid's first title in 4 years. So again, around this fucking brilliant Barcelona team. And he's the top scorer as well.
Oh, wow.
So it's just like...
I didn't know that.
It's fucking
No,
mad.
but this is the thing, isn't it? We know an awful lot of nonsense, an awful lot of interesting stuff about football. Still, it's bonkers. And you think, well, that is just Ruud van Nistelrooy at that stage, and a bargain price of 14 million euros, 10, 11, 12 million pounds, whatever it was. He also, in that season, equals someone who we've mentioned on the podcast before, Hugo Sánchez.
Yep.
He equals his record of the longest consecutive scoring streak, scoring in 7 straight games.
And he also, I at that time, until Jamie Vardy broke it,
definitely
he held the Premier League record as well of about 9 or 10 consecutive. I think it was 10 because Vardy's was 11, I believe.
Just a certified bagsman.
What did Owen call him? The horse-faced goal machine.
Well, both of those things are true.
Yeah.
I just think he was one of the most devastating strikers I'd ever seen. I think that if you think about the other strikers of the time when he was in the Premier League, Henry as an example, Drogba as an example, they all had a finesse and elegance. Van Nistelrooy was scary.
Yeah.
He was scary. When Wolves played, I feared for our centre halves.
Yeah. He was inevitable.
He looked scary. His face was scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
You think about him and Keown.
I know, it's mad. Yeah. That's one of the first things that comes to your mind.
Two boulders just crashing into each other.
Yeah, and that's what it was, wasn't it?
If you ever see United players asked who played with him, if you ever see them, I think even Andy Cole said it. Andy Cole, when he was picking his all-time United 11, didn't even put himself in it. He put Van Nistelrooy ahead of himself to play with Dwight York. And he only played with him for about half a season. Didn't
Rooney say something similar as well?
Pretty much everyone. Obviously, I watch a lot of former United players talking about football, but anyone would have him as their penalty taker. If when they're asked if someone had to take a penalty to save your life, it's always Van Nistelrooy, and he's always in everyone's starting 11.
Just quickly on that, who would you choose Ruud van Nistelrooy? I choose Cantona, I think.
Van Nistelrooy.
James?
I don't really care.
No, anyone.
Dennis Irwin.
Oh, yeah.
Wolves legend.
No, but to bring it back to Madrid.
Yeah.
So that first season they win the league and then halfway through the second season they offer him a new contract and Predrag Mahatovic, who scored the winning goal for the Real Madrid in the European Cup final previously, he's a sporting director at the time, and he said in terms of value for money, he is one of the greatest signings of recent times. And he signs a new contract. The week he signed a new contract, a younger Sebastian White was in the San Mamés Stadium for Bilbao versus Real Madrid.
Oh,
now we'd had. It was a Capital Glovers trip, so there was numerous Yeovil fans over there.
Why were you there?
We decided to do an away day.
What were the Glovers doing in Basque country?
We decided to do an away day, and we like to drink and we like to eat, and we kind of like the politics. The flag is amazing; it's got green in it. It was mainly that.
You thought you'd go and explore your Celtic heritage.
Yeah, exactly. So we got a flag done
in another autonomous region.
We got the Capital Glovers.
Very good.
We got the Capital Glovers on across a Basque flag, which like a Union Jack with a green.
Did you?
Yeah, I've still got it. It's one of our favourite flags. Oh, it's still going. It's the Old Faithful.
That's wonderful. That is a brilliant.
We've been in Basque papers and stuff.
When you say still going, when you say still going, what do you mean? Like it's still in rotation?
Oh, 100%. I just go. Yeah.
How does it work with the flags in rotation? People
just whoever's going to an away game, and then so and so's not going. Okay,
so there's WhatsApp groups.
I'll go and meet you at Waterloo Station. I'll pick it up and I'll take it.
Fucking great.
Yeah.
Great.
Quite often they leave it though. They left it at Hampton and Richmond. I think you might have mentioned that on the podcast.
Do you think Van Nistelrooy felt privileged that there was a Capital Glovers flag
Firstly, I have to say,
Up in the stands. My God, they're here.
now,
Like when your dad or your girlfriend comes to watch you.
Gets on nervous.
Yeah.
well, no.
Chest
I'll tell
gets
you why,
a bit
James.
bigger.
Booked within
I'll
the
tell you
first
why,
3
'cause
minutes.
It should be no surprise, and it's one of the reasons we chose the game. Obviously, we could have chosen watch them play Barcelona, but we chose it because we knew the atmosphere would be, let's just say, feisty, or because of the history and the politics.
Yeah.
Franco, Real Madrid,
The oppressed versus the repressed.
Exactly. You could argue that that's how it's seen, and certainly some people will see that. And I have to say, I've been to some hostile games or games where there's a hostile atmosphere. I've been to derbies all around Europe, all around the country. I would say, in terms of hostility, just before it turns into outright aggression, that Bilbao fans.
Really?
And I mean, old ladies, like, doing like that whole game at various points to different people, different players.
Seb's doing the old
To the
school.
away-
Fuck
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, sorry.
The pump of the wrist forward and then the top of the forearm.
Like, but with real venom as well. Not just once, like loads of times. There was a pocket of like 50, because in Spain, away fans don't travel as much, do they? It's just not a thing. It's not like here where you get 3,000 United fans at Arsenal or whatever, or whatever. They'll have 50. I mean, it's a long distance, but still, they only had like 50 up there. But the whole game. And Bilbao were really good. They were really good, and they hadn't beaten Madrid for a year. We thought, we're going to be here to see this. We're going to be here to see them win it. And until in like second half, midway through the second half, a Dutch striker receives the ball from about 30 yards out, and we just kind of think, it's okay.
What was his name?
The horse-faced goal machine, Ruud van Nistelrooy, receives the ball. I think there's a bit of a mix-up with the defender, and he receives the ball, and you just think naturally, well, it's okay because it's 30 yards out and it's outside the edge of the box. Nothing's going to happen here.
And of course, he does most of his damage inside the box, famously.
He does.
Famously.
Don't know why I'm doing that accent.
Famously. And he, let's just say, lets rip. And it's a fucking brilliant goal.
Should we watch
like
it?
Like a genuinely brilliant
yeah,
goal.
Is this the one, Seb?
Yeah, this is the one, yeah. So there's a bit of a mix-up defensive-wise.
He nicks the ball.
He nicks it 40 yards out, I'd argue. He runs a couple
Oh,
times. And honestly,
He's finessed it into the top.
The goalkeeper's been crucified.
I don't know who that. I just cannot believe. And I think
Ramos, Diarra.
there's some,
Diarra, Snyder.
Snyder.
What I noticed as well, and this is linked to what I'm about
Look
to say.
at his short hair. I like his short hair.
Yeah, Robinho as well.
Yeah.
His short Spanish hair. His,
Number
his
7
holiday hair.
Number 17 he wore that season. Or he wore while he was at Madrid.
Yes, he did. He scored a lot more sensational goals at Real Madrid, and I think at United he scored
Look at his gait. He had that gait, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sort of
Wide-chested.
I think
Yes.
I think at United, and
this.
Deceptively tall actually. as
Playing
well.
with the Nike Aero ball, of course.
Yeah.
And his boots. He's got those Nike.
But what
He won more Curios.
for some reason he seems to score a lot more out the box and a lot more sort of wonder goals for Real Madrid than he did at United.
Does.
I think at United, I could be wrong, but he scored like something like 1 or 2 goals outside the box in his whole career there. Like not many at all.
Well, I was listening to the Gary Neville interview him, and he said it was very different. At United, he wouldn't, and again, this probably goes against what Alex Ferguson, like tracking back and stuff like that. Ferguson just told him to stay within the
in the posts.
Yeah, within the post section.
Yeah.
So and rightly so, he scored a fucking phenomenal.
And famously within my family, the goose man, Ian Stewart, was never a fan because he said we have to play a whole different way to fit him in.
Mm-hmm.
No, but there was that around. Yeah,
I disagree because I was like, I was 13 and he scores loads of fucking goals.
No, I know, but
I know what he means. I know what he means.
It was very different when you had Saha and Rooney and that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was different type, but so again, he goes and wins another fucking league title at Madrid again around this time of great Barcelona, and I think it's fair to say that he now regrets leaving because he was getting older still, but he moved to Hamburg. He had a half decent time at Hamburg, but I think, and when he was at Hamburg, Real Madrid tried to sign him again. Like Real Madrid do, they sort of, let's
flex their muscles.
Yeah, well, like Ancelotti. Oh, do you know what? Let's just get Ancelotti back.
Yeah,
it's fucking brilliant.
They dump their girlfriend and then quickly realise there's nothing better out there.
And it doesn't take much convincing.
No, it doesn't.
No, God.
And Hamburg.
For instance, I'd go.
Yeah, exactly.
For instance,
Hamburg turn it down, and actually Ruud gets gets a bit annoyed by it. And
he really didn't like his time at Hamburg, did he?
Yeah.
In hindsight,
it just didn't quite work. And again, I suppose playing for Real Madrid, with those players, he probably would have scored even more goals, wouldn't he? But
he said it was the biggest mistake of his career.
Yeah, he did, so he could get in the squad for the World Cup.
You should see the fans that come to watch us. Some people even came from a small autonomous country called Yeovil.
It was good up until Yeovil. Yeovil.
So he said it was his biggest mistake of his career, and of course, I think we've mentioned on the podcast that we, me, Owen, and Tayo, when we made Giant, when we interviewed Bodø Zenden at PSV training ground, Ruud just kept running around the outside because he was a coach. He ended up becoming a coach as well, the coach, and won the league.
Yeah, of course.
And is rumoured to be linked with various Premier League jobs or even back at Manchester United. But I have to say,
come on,
again, I think this is what Adventures in Clubland does, and I loved doing this one and going through this one and talking about this one, because it's like, fuck, even players that are good, are brilliant, sometimes you just forget they did even more brilliant things somewhere else.
Well, the goal ratio is ridiculous.
That's insane, isn't
and
it?
One of the maddest things I read was that, because he had that Champions League record, I think, didn't he? Until Messi and Ronaldo just shattered everything. But he scored a goal every 109 minutes
in the Champions League
in his whole career.
Big game player.
Fucking unbelievable.
Big game player.
Come back. Ruud, if you're listening, come back to Man United. Simon's here. He wants to talk to you. So, Ruud, if you're listening, give us a call.
Oh, God.
Sorry. Seriously, very quickly, I hope he actually takes a managerial job, but I would love him to be a coach at Man
But I'd be
United.
really intrigued to see how he does, because I think he's... I like him, and I like him even more after doing that. Right then, on the week that we've talked about a review saying that we've dropped a feature that we haven't dropped, we are going to bring a feature back.
That we actually did drop.
Yeah, that we did drop. So, maybe he got confused between Adventures in Clubland and... Come on.
We support these. We support these. We support these now. We support. We support these now.
James, you're going to tell us all about the FA Disability Cup finals.
Yeah, absolutely. So the FA Disability Cup finals this weekend, the 29th and 30th of June, and they're at St George's Park. And the whole thing is live on TNT Sports. Now, the reason that I want to talk about this is I watched both days. I watched all 6 finals last year. I was in the flat on my own, and there wasn't any football on, and it was just brilliant. So the intensity and the specificity across the 6 different categories, which are partially sighted, blind, deaf, cerebral palsy, amputee, and power chair, makes such a brilliant watch. EE sponsor the tournament, and this week I actually met 3 players who are in the finals, and we made some films with them. So I met Abdu Job, who is deaf, and plays for St John's deaf team. I met Kieran Clark, who plays for the Royal College of Blind. Is an amazing centre half, a sort of swashbuckling centre half, and Jake Heisman, who plays for Scorpions futsal, and he's partially sighted. We sort of learnt about their football journeys, and also met their proudest sort of supporters. The people, the coach, the mom, the person who'd got Dylan, who'd first got Kieran into playing blind football when he arrived at the Royal National College of Blind. So that's this weekend. And it is, if you haven't watched any para football before, you absolutely should. I mean, there's so many.
And you're going as well, aren't you?
I'm going.
You're going to see it in action.
I'm going on the Saturday. I'll be me and Assad will be doing some broadcasts live from the first day of the finals, so
that people can see that on the Mundial Instagram. Yeah,
correct.
Lovely stuff.
And watch it live on TNT.
And will the videos be out before that?
Yep. So there's 3 films coming out. I think one today and one Friday and one on Saturday. Really, really, really lovely films.
Yeah.
But I think that the key thing behind all of these films was not to focus on the disability angle for each of these 3 players, but to just concentrate on the fact that they're elite athletes playing at the top of their game. Yep. Speaking to Kieran, so Kieran's the blind footballer. He lost his sight when he was 5. So what's interesting about Kieran is that he can remember watching football before he lost his sight.
Bloody hell.
So he does have those memories of watching the game. But speaking to Kieran, so Kieran, like I said, is centre half. The whole time he spoke about leaving one in and loving to get to loving getting to the ball first, but taking a bit of the man as well. But he also spoke brilliantly. He spoke really well about in blind football. Yeah. He was like, "Well, you can get away with a little bit more because you can always just go, well, I didn't see him."
That is.
Yeah, Kieran,
brilliant. But also true.
Kieran was fantastic.
It's like a Monty Python line.
It was so good. But he spoke about
brilliant.
He spoke about how so in blind football the keeper is fully sighted.
Right.
So their keeper, the Royal National College of Blind, is Dylan, who is the person that got Kieran into football in the first place. He bumped into him in the college hallway and said, "Kieran, you look like you should be playing football. Like, come and play with me." In fact, he's from the West Midlands as well, Dylan. Kieran in the film does this amazing West Midlands accent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really funny. But the amazing thing that Kieran spoke about with regards to the goalkeeper in blind football is how they have to constantly paint a picture of what is happening on the pitch to all of the outfield players because they can't see what's going on.
But vocally.
Yeah. So he said how, people now talk about scans a lot, per minute for a centre midfielder. Yeah. And he said that Dylan is scanning for every single player.
Jesus.
On the pitch.
And as well as needing to be alert for...
Yeah, the pitch is split into sections and there is a different coach and different person telling each section what's happening. But the goalkeeper is the only one on the actual pitch who can see. And Kieran is centre half. Yeah. He said that a big part of his job is Dylan telling Kieran what's happening on the pitch and then Kieran translating to the other players on the pitch what happens.
Wow.
And still having to play football.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
Bloody hell.
Well, I'd be fucked.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do that.
Abdu Job, who is the deaf player, his coach is a guy called Memnos Kosti. And they spoke brilliantly about how Abdu played semi-pro. He played for Bromley up until he was up to under 23s, and now he plays for England. All three of them. These
represent England,
all play for England as well. But Abdu spoke about how because of how so many of these players played at a high level anyway, it was like the standard of deaf football is incredibly high.
Wow.
And the brilliant part about this interview was that I can't use BSL, British Sign Language. So we have Abdu on the sofa and then Memnos comes onto the sofa as well, and behind me are two interpreters interpreting my questions in British Sign Language.
Of course.
And then Abdu and Memnos are talking back to me, communicating back to me in British Sign Language, and the two interpreters behind me are then translating that into spoken English.
Oh my God.
I tell you what,
it was so good. So Sam, the guy who turned up who's worked with Abdu before to be his BSL interpreter. I introduced myself and he was like, "No, I've met you. I've actually translated for you before." And I was like, What do you mean? I've never done anything like this. This is all new and amazing. He's like, no, I was on the side of the stage at Trafalgar Square doing the British Sign Language for the.
Because I don't know if you took. No, there was someone there the whole time, and it kind of got lost amongst all the giddiness and madness.
I saw them. Yeah.
I meant to say, oh God, there was people behind us doing sign language the whole time. Yeah. Because even my daughter was like, that's amazing. Yeah. This weekend, 29th, 30th of June, FA Disability Cup Final, sponsored by EE on TNT Sports. Honestly, watch them. It's brilliant football. The other thing that I'd really like to add very quickly is that as part of the interviews, we had a guy called Dexter McLean who was taking the photos. Sounds like a superhero.
Dexter McLean. So Dexter has cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
Again, the sort of all the logistics of the separate needs for the different people who were on this shoot made the whole thing a really, really interesting thing.
Yeah.
But Dexter's work is amazing, and I can't wait for people to see the photos that he took.
We'll put all those links in the bio and in the description and everything like that, and also on our social media. So, yeah.
And if you're watching on the YouTube or watching on the clips, James is wearing a beautiful...
I'm wearing the official FA Disability Cup final shirt.
Which, on the back?
On the back.
They've even got Mundial written on the back.
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah, good on
Whoa, whoa.
So,
Sorry, Europa League music.
Tommy's go on, I don't know what's happened. But that is really good, James, and I'm glad this is reminding you why I love football. That is already reminding me why I love football. I've seen the amazing work that's gone into all the films, but we'll be watching that this weekend, and we'll be sticking the video links up in the listing and all that sort of stuff. So please do have a watch and have a look at all the assets and stuff that have come out of this, because it's genuinely been a lot of fun.
All right, I'm Charlie Cooper. You might recognise me from BBC Show This Country, but I'm here to tell you how much I love Mundial magazine. For me, it's the fanzine of football, documenting the best of football culture forever. I'm very proud to admit I've been a long-term subscriber of Mundial for years now. But if you subscribe, you don't just get the magazine, right? You get loads of other perks, too many to mention, in fact. So join Club Mundial at mundialmag.com.
Football's ins and outs.
Outs and ins and outs.
Ins
Debbie.
and outs.
Whoa.
Ins and outs, outs and ins, favourite things, bad things, all that sort of stuff. We're going to start with the football ones this week. I'm just going to follow off the back of what we've just been talking about in the previous section about wholesome and amazing stories and triumphs against adversity, I would say. My Beautiful Sisters is a book by Khalida Popal. Susie Rack has helped her write it, but Khalida Popal, if you don't know, is she's a former Afghanistan national team captain, women's team captain, and let's just say, obviously, playing football in Afghanistan and being a woman has been extremely testing over recent times, and not so recent times. So I had the privilege and pleasure to interview her once for FIFA back in 2012, 2013, and it was one of the most inspiring and amazing interviews I've ever done, and she is an absolute inspiration. She's a joy to listen to, even despite some of the stories she's got to tell. Her positivity is infectious. So her book is out. It's called My Beautiful Sisters. Susie Rack has helped steer the ship, but obviously Khalida Popal has got great stories and is a great storyteller. But yeah, between those two, they've produced a fantastic book, and I would highly recommend it, and it will absolutely remind you why you love football. And
this may have been forgotten, but we actually commissioned William Child, the sculptor and claymation artist, to create a short film about Khalida in 2018.
This is it. This is what we do. We're very lucky to have done so many brilliant things. So we'll put the link. We'll go put that back out.
Yeah.
But yes, good point, James. Good point.
Just a little short claymation film
of
Khalida, and a short interview below. But that was 2018, I think.
An incredible person.
And he's now making videos for Danny Brown.
Yeah.
Yes, he's doing all sorts, isn't he?
He's smashing it with his.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
He's brilliant.
So again, another person to shout out there, Will Child. But
legend.
That's in, obviously, because I get to choose if it's in or out. Tommy, we've obviously talked about the first bit, but let's.
Well, I want to genuinely big up the Mundial goalkeeper gloves, which I wore in that tournament that we spoke about before.
Yeah,
I bought my Adidas Predator ones down with me. My quite bougie goalkeeper gloves.
Yeah. Your regulars,
yeah. And they've done me well in the time I've had them so far. But I said to Seb, I would love to wear one of them a pair of them as I'm representing Mundial. Multicoloured, greens, pinks, made by Pro GK, and the quality, finger saving element, the quality is very good, and love wearing them. And absolutely honest, so I would recommend them. Seb has not encouraged me to do this.
No, he hasn't
at all. It's just me bigging up the goalkeeper gloves.
And the design is inspired by Campos's shirt,
with a big Mundial M on it, and they will be on sale very, very soon. So
they're very cool, and they're genuinely really good gloves.
Yeah,
are they in?
So in. They're so in. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes, of course they're in. Go on, James.
Sort of hoping to get past these brilliant goalkeeper gloves, just fucking shooting outside the box.
Oh, what a link!
Cracking one off. Just cracking one off from outside. Have a go.
Like Ruud. like Ruud. Bilbao.
Have a go. The Romania goals on the Saturday at 2 p.m. Have a go.
Just have a go.
You're all really good at football. Stop trying to walk the ball into the net.
Yeah.
If you've got half a second,
Yeah.
have a little look up, see where the keeper is, crack one off.
And also, not if you're. Also, even if you're not playing an international football tournament for your country, it's always good fun anyway. Because didn't Sophie of our parish, Sophie Kirk, didn't she score a long range?
Sophie Kirk scored a long range.
Just had a wallop.
Threw a leg at it.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, she did. She's first time she played for months, wasn't it? And scored.
Years.
A couple of years.
Was it? They say you don't miss the shots you don't take.
What, the Michael Jordan quote?
Yes.
You miss 100% of the chances you don't take.
There you are, exactly.
Damn. There you go.
So it was either Michael Jordan or Sophie Kirk who said that.
Was it not Wayne Gretzky?
I can't remember.
I don't know. One of them. Anyway, that's
one of the sporting legends.
Sorry, we've just slipped into the fucking high performance bollocks. Anyway, sorry, that's definitely in, James, because I think you just have a bloody go.
And also, as a goalkeeper, I would encourage it because 99 times out of 100, it's not going on target.
Very good point, Tommy. Out very quickly, and I'm not going to have a massive go at him, but it was one of the funniest moments of Hotel Mundial. Out, the fella who turned up with a Brompton bike to Hotel Mundial and put it just next to the seats that Mia and Owen were sat on. Let's just say he was told to move.
Is he a listener?
Anyone who has listened to the podcast will know of my disdain for bicycles that fold up.
A completely irrational disdain.
Yeah. Anyway, so when this bloke walked in on the last night of Hotel Mundial carrying one, it was a moment of humour, and I'm not. Yeah.
Did he do it? Did he do it for a laugh?
No,
Have you listened to the podcast?
no, I don't think so. No,
He did it because I paid him £12 to do it. Just go.
So,
sorry, mate. Could you? Is that your bike? Yeah. Could you see those two idiots over there? Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It was very funny.
The one who's dancing and the one who's arguing with the person next to him. Yeah. Just go and put your bike right next to that. He'll love that.
It was so fun, ridiculous.
They'll both really like it if you put your bike.
But I'm going to put it out because don't turn up to Mundial events with Brompton bikes.
Yeah, fair play.
Future warning. James, what's your out for football out this week?
Enjoy it. International football tournaments come around every 2 years.
Yeah.
Enjoy them.
Yeah.
Stop moaning.
Yeah.
Stop venting frustrations. Enjoy the fact that once every couple of years you get the chance to watch the best players in the world for a week, going hammer and tong at it in an international tournament. Enjoy it.
I would include in that as well that
they're the best thing.
Co-commentators and analysts who clearly don't want to be there and are not enjoying it themselves.
What are you doing?
You're getting paid to do it as well. Yeah, not only you're watching it, you're getting paid to do it. But yes.
Oh, Alan Shearer's fucking dear.
Out.
Enjoy it.
That's how you meant, innit?
Stop it. The best thing. They're the best thing.
Murphy. Come on. You, Tommy Stewart, what's yours?
You. Leaving one in. Look, in professional football, love it. And I know
in the box? I've left you one in there. Tommy, I thought you'd gone past that.
Absolutely.
This was such a clean, wholesome episode.
The dying moments.
I thought you'd gone past all that. Anyway, so I'm just...
You dirty bastard.
Yeah.
No, but basically, I was playing football recently, had a one-on-one. We were playing the team who have won the league like 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Had a one-on-one, and we were drawing 1-1 about 10 minutes of the game left, and they were just getting very frustrated, trying every trick in the book, trying everything with the referee. Had a one-on-one, went down, won the ball with my hands in the box, and the opposition player claimed it was an accident, but stamped on my wrist. Stamped on my wrist.
Stamp, I would definitely put out a stamp, but leaving one in, I don't know if I can put out because we just laughed about 5 minutes.
I love leaving one in, but it's a Thursday night 7-aside.
No, I know, but stamping's different. Leaving one in still, sliding in and.
All right, can I change it to stamping?
Yeah, well, stamping definitely. Yeah, stamping.
So let's go with that.
Yeah, that's out. Definitely stamping, but leaving one in, I can't put that out because it's a bit. I've done it.
So I've done it myself.
We've all done it. I do it every week.
What are we on next? Non-football ins and outs. My in for the non-football ins and outs is Walter Presents on Channel 4. There's loads of great foreign TV programmes that you would never have heard of. They're all got subtitles, so it keeps you off your phone. It doesn't sound like it, but I watched one recently, and the title doesn't sound like it, but The Mafia Only Kills in Summer is one of the funniest things I've seen for a long time. It's a dark Italian comedy, but really good. So Walter Presents on Channel 4. Just don't go on Rotten Tomatoes. Don't do anything like that. Just have a look and just pick one and go for it.
Respect.
That's in.
Yeah, love it.
James, in.
Sunglasses indoors.
I think you've put us in the wrong section. It
Nope.
should be an out.
No.
Be an out.
Sunglasses
No.
indoors.
I've just-
Par for the
Yeah.
course.
No, absolutely.
I just kept my sunglasses on Hotel MUNDIAL a couple of times for, sort of 5 minutes, and I felt fantastic.
Fucking Bono over it.
Yeah.
no.
Went round my mates, going round my mates to watch the games last couple of weeks. Just leaving them on.
What in living room?
Just leaving them on for a bit. Yeah.
No,
If you're Bono, who's your edge?
I'm just keeping a real air of mystery about myself.
I mean, there's absolutely no way that's in. Of course not.
Owen would hate that.
It was? Yeah. Well, not just because of that, but
He'd have hated that if he was still here.
Yeah, he'll be back soon. Don't worry, everyone. He's a top
We miss
presenter, as we know.
you, Owen. If you're listening, Owen.
Oh, it's good.
If you're listening, Owen,
we should have got him to call in.
Seb's here.
Seb's here, Owen. Seb's trying to take your hot seat. No, we're only joking. You'll be back, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We should have got him to call in.
Tommy?
My in is a rapper I discovered recently from Yorkshire, actually. Leeds, Huddersfield. TjTUCKER is his name. I did a spoken word night recently, and he was at the night doing a bit of spoken word, doing a bit of rap, and there was none of that, actually.
Wasn't there?
I got 2 bloody standing ovations.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, with the tournament.
Comedian, producer, spoken word
Write the
expert.
theme tune, sing
yeah,
the theme tune. No, not an expert at all. But anyway, it was like watching. It was like seeing a God, this is a high compliment. I did say it to him. It was like watching a British J. Cole, his conscious rap. It wasn't like grime or anything. I can't really explain it. It was just beautiful, and he's a proper wordsmith. He's not got many followers.
Go and have a look.
Get on him before he's big.
TjTUCKER.
He's genuinely brilliant.
I thought that was an equipment hire place in Somerset. A farm equiment hire place in Somerset.
Do you think TjTUCKER is an anonymous rapper? And if you go onto his Instagram page, it's just Tommy.
It's just Tommy. Yeah.
He's brilliant. He's at work.
I would love
I saw him last week. He's from Leeds or Huddersfield. He's a real wordsmith. I'd call him the British J. Cole. But wears a mask to cover his face. If you go on to his
If
Instagram.
anyone's got any ideas,
doesn't have many followers.
Tommy Stewart.
So follow him now.
Yeah.
That would be so tragic.
James, certainly not ruling it out. Let's just say that.
God.
Moving swiftly on to outs. Tommy Stewart, come on.
Oh, my out is. Sorry, I'm laughing so much at that because it could be true.
That's what I'm saying.
If I was drinking, it was definitely something I probably would have done.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but nowadays, this is what you do.
I'm all like that now.
This is what he does.
Plant maintenance is out because I am renting my. The flat I've bought is not ready yet, basically. So it's going to be ready September, October. In the meantime, I'm renting my brother's flat. Now, I put up an Insta story just of the cool pictures I put up on the wall. Yeah. Larry and Jerry.
Yeah, good pictures.
Kendrick Lamar tour posters. Shit like that.
TjTUCKER.
TsTUCKER. TS Stewart.
TsTUCKER, of course. Yeah.
And my brother's girlfriend replied to the story saying, plants. And I was like, oh, fuck. Because he's left his plants there. And he said before he left, you're a good plant man, aren't you? And I was like, I've kept some plants alive over the past few years. These lads have been alive for 5 years. And she's calling me out on it. Yeah. I was away at Hotel MUNDIAL for 8 days.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. And I left the blinds open as well, so they've just been absolutely... Rich will probably be... My brother, hi Rich, will probably be finding out now that his plants are on the wane.
Emaciated.
Do
you know what?
It's hard.
Do you know what? It serves him right for charging his brother rent.
Right, that's no more of that. Richard, you're well within your right to do that. Out. That's out. James, come on.
Just line bikes are a fucking pure joy. They're amazing. You feel like you own the world when you're cycling somewhere on them, zooming through the streets.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you see the sort of the lack of respect people give them, chucking them in the middle of the road, knocking them over, like pedals.
It's unacceptable, isn't it?
Just they're a really fun thing and a really useful tool to get around this city. Just give them a bit of respect. Give the line bike a bit of respect.
So chuck in line bikes in the middle of the road, absolutely out there. I agree with you. Yeah, have some bloody respect. Put a tie on, brush your hair, and sing the national anthem. No, my out this week is I actually haven't got one. No.
Well, don't have one then.
I don't have one. It's fine.
Don't be a negatron.
Let's finish off of a positive. It's been a great episode. Thanks very much for listening. Please leave a review if you haven't. Please you can watch this on YouTube if you want to see our lovely faces and in 4K and lovely football shirts. We've got a lovely archive.
Been fiddling for the last 7 minutes.
57, 58 episodes now, isn't it, Tommy? There's plenty there to get your teeth in. And as the one reviewer said, the early episodes are better. So maybe not the first 4. Please, not the first 4.
Can we not just take them off?
No, we should just take them off.
We should do now. Yeah.
And
you're right.
Thank you very much. Please tell your mates about us. The magazine's still on sale. Of course, there's always a magazine on sale, but this one might be the best one. I know we say it all the time, but it's true. And we will be back next week. Thanks very much for listening.
Thank you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Reminding You Why You Love Football is a Mundial and Football co-production. Produced by Tommy Stewart and Seb White, hosted by me, Owen Blackhurst, and recorded on the run.